secret for anybody. We know each other quite well. We know we live in the same world of this bespoke tailoring in Paris. It's a little world, but actually it's gathered a lot of nice and very interesting people. I have maybe, it would be not, because I can see we have people from all around the world, from different places in the world. Of course, your name is very famous among the bespoke tailoring aficionados. Sorry, it's the morning for me, it's 10:30. But maybe in a few minutes, could you give us a little bit of a background about the story of Camps de Luca? When was it founded? You know, just a little, in a nutshell, who is Camps de Luca, this beautiful, beautiful tailoring house?
So Camps de Luca is two family names. We have Camps and we have De Luca. The De Luca, my grandfather, Mario De Luca, was in Italy. He was born in Atina, a small village next between Rome and Napoli.
Yes.
During the Second War, he came to Paris and he started to make his own workshop. And step by step, he met peoples and they tried to make a joint venture with Mr. Camps.
Okay.
So they created together in 1969 Camps de Luca, which was always stayed at the same locations in 11 Place de la Madeleine.
Oh yeah, I remember this place very well. It was a beautiful place, actually.
We have a nice shooting there.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember it very well. So you said they joined in 1969. Mr. Kampf was quite a famous tailor back in this year. He was on the Champs-Élysées, right, during the 60s, if I remember well.
Correct, yes.
Yeah, I don't remember because in 63 I was just born, so I was not a client. But I've been reading a lot about them. And then they joined the venture. So the name of your grandfather was Mario, is that correct? Mario De Luca.
Yeah. Yes, correct.
And then after that, the companies continued to develop, and then your father, Marc, took over directly after his father. Is that correct?
So my dad started to work at 16 years old at the company. Okay. So he started to learn with some employees, and step by step, he learned also with Mr. Camps, some cutting line and to do some pattern. And step by step, he took over the customers from my grandfather. At the 1992, when I was born, my dad actually get his own customers. So it was the first step for him to have his own customers.
Okay.
And step by step, he developed the company overseas. We was mainly a tailor from for Paris and a bit of Middle East, and Dad went to Russia, and after that we went to Asia, we went to US, and step by step it became a little bit more international than when my grandfather was the manager of the company.
Okay, when did your grandfather stop working at the company?
When he died.
Yeah, that is to say, in which year, you remember?
It was in 2005.
2005, so until the very end, like many tailors, and this is a common trait of many tailors, they can't stop, huh?
They never stop.
Yeah, it's impossible for that. It is very strange. I mean, I think it's a trait of most of the artisanal works that people are so passionate about. It's literally what they do is who they are, more or less. And I didn't know this story. I have a story that your father told me many times. He said that your grandfather was always saying to you and to Julien, that I say hello to Julien, your brother, that he said to you and Julien, your grandfather would say, nah, I don't want you to become tailors because it's not the job for the young generation. And, you know, there's no future in tailoring and stuff. It's too hard. It's a difficult life because you have to work hard, etc. So your grandfather was not very joyful, you know, at the idea of you being a tailor. But so as far as I know, your brother and yourself, you started a different career at the beginning. Is that right?
Yeah, you know, we are a kind of traditional family. So if we don't have the approval of grandfather or dad, we cannot go against them, you know. It's like, you know, we was educated like that, you know, if not, you get the slash.
Okay.
So actually, he said that there was no future. It was a hard period at this moment when we decided to, myself and Julian also think to take over the company, to learn, first of all, to be a tailor. And they say, please, don't do it. So we don't have choice. So personally, I went to work in restaurant, finding a restaurant, a gastronomic restaurant, and I learned how to enjoy and take pleasure of food.
That's,
you know,
good. That's a good job too. That's a good job too, actually.
it was a really good experience because you need to be at the service of the people. You need to understand, you need to listen to people, and this is a good school, I believe.
Yeah.
And after that, my brother himself made some study in more mathematics, and he became a broker in London, because he was making all the study from starting 12 years old there. Yes. And I joined Julian because I went to live in England for 3 years. That was the best time of my life with him. It was incredible. And London is great. And so, step by step, we discussed with my dad. And in 2005, I had the possibility to go to Japan to work with Pierre Regnier, because I was always working with him. And actually, my grandfather started to be sick. And I say, okay, Dad, can I come to Paris to help you a little bit? Because the business was good. And I feel that my dad needs just the support. It was just the beginning of the support.
Yes.
And step by step, I found that there was a good moment to work with him.
Yes.
And the connection was working, you know. And one day I just wake up and say, why I should leave? Because every morning I wake up and I go to see my family. I work with them and enjoy. And, you know, my dad is also my boss, but also my best friend.
Yes.
So let's continue like that. And Julian came over. Yeah. So I'm more than happy now.
So you couldn't resist, basically. That's the story. At the end of the day, you've been raised into this environment. You've seen your grandfather and your father working with this beautiful craft, and then at the end. That's something I don't know, Charles, is that, your grandfather at the end was happy that both of you joined, or he didn't know, he died before you joined the company?
I joined the company. He died just a few months after.
Yes.
I would say, yes. And Julian came later.
Okay.
But I believe he's pretty proud of us.
I hope so, because I can tell you're doing a great job. And it's always very heartwarming to see a family continuing the legacy. Because, you know, Charles, better than anybody else, that we live in a world where people try to invent a family heritage for themselves. We know so many Browns who say we are established since whatever. And there's a real stories like yours, like the Chiffonelli story, like the Drago family story. It's another beautiful story. And when you have the luck to have an heritage, this is so precious, specifically in these unprecedented days, you know, where maybe we have to rethink and reshuffle the way we are looking at the world. And I believe that the family thing is probably what we should restart from this point zero. For me, this is family links are so important in everything you do. So I don't want to become emotional on that, but I strongly support people like you and others, because I strongly believe in the family links. And people who say, well, family and business don't go well together. It is not true, because in a family business, you can really trust each other, and you can not only do a good job, but also pay a tribute to the former generation. And that's something we have a tendency to forget a little bit. I have a question for you, because you're the new generation now. I mean, actually, your dad is still working, he's still in very good shape. Is it a legend, or is it true that your dad was a super high-level karate man in the past?
It's true, and it's still true. Believe me, I'm still scared of him.
So he did karate at a national or international level, right?
International level. He was a few times French champions, and twice or once, I don't remember, European. Yeah. And he went to the final final with the team, with the French team, to the World Cup. And they finished number 3, I believe.
So you got no problem of self-defense in the family in case you have a problem.
No, but just my dad need to look at us, and we understand that we need to shut up or to do what he say.
So be careful, everybody. If you go to a fitting and you meet Mark, you have to be very kind with him. I'm joking, because your father is probably among the kindest person I know. He's very sweet. He's very calm. He's extremely composed. Is for me one of the definition of a gentleman I have. Well, I should not tell you this, because I'm pretty sure he's listening. I don't know if he's listening to this live, but everybody has the same opinion about him. He's a very soft-speaking man. And in this world, once again, if people are gesticulating a lot, I think it's very important to have people like that. We have a question of people who say, can you explain the difference between Stark & Son and Atelier de Luca? Well, this is one of our subjects. So Mr. I don't know who is that, Theo, I guess, Theo Gomez, you have to wait a little bit because we're going to speak about that. It's our plan. But first, I want to continue a little bit things. So we can now step directly into our subject. But first, I want to have a word for our friend of Drago, of course, because as you noticed, and we all know, these meetings are organized by our friend at Drago. And I know that you have a good relationship with the Drago family. And you see, it's always the same story, family with family. This is something very strong in our business. Can you tell us a little bit your relationship with Drago and why you developed over the years quite a strong relationship with this incredible family?
So we started 4 years ago.
Yes.
When we have the new line that we was creating, yes. We was looking for new materials because, you know, you see many brand on the market. Yeah. And we was creating a new product. So we was looking for new players on the market. Yeah. And lucky the luck bring us to Drago, and lucky Drago come to see us. And they say, should we try to do something together? And we start to work with the vintage. It's the first brand, the first bunch, sorry, that we worked with them. It was 120. It's a lightweight. It's 250, 280 grams. It's a nice materials that we work with since 4 years now. Okay. And step by step, they bring us new product, new qualities. And today I'm wearing a suit that I make with the Cortina. It's a bunch more for like middle season, I would say. I'm in love with this bunch, honestly speaking. I have 2 suits from this bunch. I have this.
It's called Cortina, like Cortina d'un Penzo.
Sì, certo, sì. And I'm really know the family when I was invited to receive an award from them in Milano. And I had a pleasure to meet the full family, as you explained. There is the family, the dad and the mother who started, and the son and the daughter started to take over the company. Yes. They are very humble, very nice, very keen. They received me perfectly, and I was treating it like as a kind of friend, not like a really business customers, like we're going to discuss how many volumes you want and all this. And so I was really happy to have a direct contact with the owner, and they're producing themselves material. Yes. So when you have a problem, that's very interesting because you can speak to the guy directly and say, okay, I have a problem, what's the solution and all this. And this is really a direct relationship, and I love that.
Yeah, that's a very important point you're speaking of, because many people, they speak, I mean, there's many beautiful fabrics on the market, but the specificity, in my opinion, of Drago, they are the producers directly. So they have the mill, and then you can directly, it's very luxurious to be able to speak directly to the people who produce them. I have, by the way, it's funny because I have the Cortina bunch right there. Okay, it's reverse, of course, I suppose. But what I like in this bunch, we discussed this a little bit, you see? It's a very interesting bunch because, as you can see, okay, I'm not going to go through the bunch, but there's so many different patterns. But what is interesting is that it has a kind of I would say, almost an English look, but with an Italian hand.
It's a little bit shining, but not too much. Yeah. There's a softness, but there are some robustness. I don't know how to say it in English. There are structures that give a very nice suit.
Sorry, j'ai dû souffler sur mon ordinateur parce que j'ai des morceaux de tissu qui sont tombés.
No problem.
Because it's coming directly from the mill, so I have a little bit of fabric crumbs on my computer right now. So yeah, and everybody is also saying that, I want your opinion on that, is that it's quite an easy fabric. It's very easy. No, easy. When I say easy, it's very good for tailoring because the structure of the fabric, and it's not, because sometimes some fabric can be a little bit complex for the tailors to work with, and these bunches at Drago have the reputation to be very well fitted for tailors. Is that right?
About it, yes.
Okay, fantastic. So now we have a lot of Drago, personally, my favorite bunch. Okay, everybody who saw my last talk with Lorenzo Ciponelli last week, they understand I have the same suit. Once again, I tell you, I was supposed to stay in America for 1 week, and I came for a funeral, so I had my black Super 180 Wallace by Drago and but it's the thing is that I wanted to wear Drago for a Drago talk, and that's the only suit I have. So I'm sorry if I'm in black, but look at that. It's kind of it's so beautiful. It's a beautiful suit I wear. So now let's explain something, because there's some novelty in Camps de Luca, as far as I know. I knew your former place, that everybody who knew the Camps de Luca company since years, like I do, we were cherishing this place in Place de la Madeleine. That was your historical place. For some reasons, you know, sometime in Paris, there's some real estate development with hotels and stuff like that. So you were, you had to move, right, from this historical place. I remember your father has a kind of a heavy heart to leave this place, because it was your history, literally. But, and then you moved to Rue de la Paix, if I remember well, where you took over the business of Alain Stark. We can take advantage of this moment also to just say hello to the memory of Mr. Stark.
Definitely.
Yeah, Mr. Stark of Stark & Son, he was a sweet man, very gentle.
Very keen, very nice. Yes.
Very gentle, yeah. And so you took over this company, and you and your brother started to try, if I understand well, to allow more people to have the Camps de Luca experience. That is to say, you, of course, continue the bespoke tailoring, totally traditional, but since the beginning of the taking over of Stark & Son, Julien and yourself, you were trying to propose something, quote unquote, more affordable, maybe for the young generation, so that they can have something really tailored, but at a price which is probably more easy to access when you start in life, or when you are just a young professional. And as far as I know, and you will explain, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit long, because it's to put it in a nutshell. You just moved a few weeks ago, literally, to a new place, which has a shop now. So it means that Camps de Luca, for the first time in your history, you have a shop, and you are proposing, of course, the bespoke tailoring, which is the identity of your company. But now you propose something different, which is called Atelier de Luca. Can you explain to us, and take your time, because I want people to really understand what it is, because in my opinion, it can be the winning bet for you. It's a new way of doing made-to-measure tailoring. Can you explain to us the evolution of your company?
Yes. So when we took over Stark & Sons, we have some customers who was making some ready to wear, or like half bespoke suit with the Stark & Sons brand. It was produced in a small factory in Portugal.
Yes.
When we took over, we look at the product and we say, okay, we need to stop that, because it's not the identity that we want to show, we want to give to the customers.
Yes.
So we stop it, and we decide with my father and my brother to create our own production. It takes time. If you want to do it well, it takes time. So we create our own production in Italy, and we create, this is again a family thing. It's like that.
Of course.
We work with an old tailor that working with us before, and his son, and they go back to Italy, and we create with them our own atelier.
Okay, your own atelier. So you have you have a team. It's in Rome, right?
Just outside, it's in the subway of Rome. Yes, correct.
Okay.
And so we decide to design the body and the shape of Camps de Luca spirit. You know, Camps de Luca is the ground for us. It's our grandfather, is like something, a heritage that we earn, and that now we want to transform a little bit on Atelier de Luca, not just not just to make it more cheaper. We want to create also the spirit of the De Luca suit.
Okay.
So what we decide is to make the rolling sleeves.
Yes.
We have the lapel, but we changed the angle. We didn't make the French mouse.
Okay.
And the French mouse.
You changed the mouth a little bit.
Yes.
Well, we're going to discuss this after, because I know many people are very interested in this, what we call the Parisian notch, which is the Camps notch, actually, the Camps de Luca notch. But we'll continue. We will go back into this detail after.
And what we decide is, like, you have the Camps de Luca experience of the full bespoke.
Yes.
And we decide to try to give an experience, because what we are looking, everybody is looking for experience, okay? And we want to give an experience of tailor to the customers. So what we decided is to create a bespoke that we are going to come, we're going to take some measurement of you, all the measurements. We're going to put a jacket on you that's going to be on your size, that we took the measure. And from that, we're going to choose the materials, and we're going to cut the materials with a pattern, okay? And from this, we're going to make the first fitting.
So you mean you are going to do the first fitting before the jacket is sent in Rome for crafting? Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So you're going to make the fitting for the jacket and also for the trousers.
Okay.
So both are at the stage of the first fitting.
Okay.
And after that, we are going to finish the product, and we will finish the buttonholes and the small details in Paris in other workshops.
Okay.
So we create a new experience and a new way of working also for us.
Yeah. Let me sum up a little bit what you just said, because I want the people who are listening to really understand what you are talking about, because that's, for me, a very interesting, I can say, new approach. And to be honest with you, Charles, I was waiting for this kind of approach since a long time. Okay, just to make a long story short, you have the full bespoke, which is and remains at your place the very heart and identity of the company. That is to say, a measurement, first fitting with a basket jacket, your pattern exactly only for you, and then multiple fittings, all by hand. Well, this is the full bespoke experience. And now, with your idea to maybe put a little bit more, you still hear, you hear me well, Charles?
Perfect, I was just changing, yes.
Don't worry. And so now what you say, on the other end of the market, you have what we call made to measure. And it's always a little bit confusing for the people, you know, made to measure, bespoke, it's easy. Made to measure, it's easy. You go in a place, a salon or whatever, they measure you, and then they immediately send your measurement. Or you can have a fitting jacket also, like a 48 and 50, and then they readjust it, and then they send your measurement directly to a factory, I don't know, in China, in Romania, in Portugal, wherever, it doesn't really matter. And then your jacket is coming back, fully crafted. And that's for me, and paradoxically, it's much more difficult to have a good made to measure than a bespoke, because you don't have time. A bespoke tailor has multiple fittings to refine and to adjust, etc. What you propose is that you take advantage of the fact that your company is a bespoke company, and then that you know how to cut fabric, you know how to draw a pattern. So you use a fitting jacket, if I'm right, and then from that, you extrapolate a pattern, you cut, you make the first fitting, and then only after you send to the factory. And when it comes back, naturally, sorry, which is owned by you, and when it comes back, you can still readjust if necessary as it was full bespoke. Is that correct description?
Yes, it depends. Sometimes some work we cutting the materials, or sometimes we cut it directly in Italy if we have too much work, or if we make it faster. So this is an organization in turn. But what we want to give to the customers is the real experience of fittings and tailoring, which was lost during. If you don't go to bespoke area, it was like, okay, I'm going there, I'm going to spend a lot of money, and like they're taking things and say, okay, this is your suit. Wait. It's like I'm taking from the rack. No, it was not the idea that we want to create.
Yeah, I must say, Charles, this is, I didn't see the product, but knowing your family and knowing your know-how and knowing your history and your dad is very adamant to keep the tradition alive. You know, he's very precise in everything he does. And I think it's a fantastic it's almost a new way of doing things. And so where is this available now? Because you moved to a new place. Explain to us the new place in Paris. How is it organized? As everything is grouped in one place, or how is it organized?
So the reception area is located at 11 Rue des Pyramides.
Where is 11 Rue des Pyramides? Just roughly for the people who are not from Paris.
It's between Rue Saint-Honoré and Avenue de l'Opéra.
Oh, wow.
It's a street like 5 minutes walk from Palais Royal or Louvre. It's really a good location. We're really happy about it.
Yeah.
We had to take a boutique shop on the street because we didn't have the possibility to find on the floors. Some things, as the traditional tailors was, you just receive customers on first or second floor or fourth floors.
Yes.
So we had to put the shop. So we discussed with my family, and actually we decided to change the brand name and to call the shop Atelier de Luca, but also the brand of the product that we are selling, the suits, will be Atelier de Luca.
Okay, so Camps de Luca is the full bespoke, remains the full bespoke, and Atelier de Luca is, I don't like to call it semi-bespoke, but it's maybe the closest to the reality. It's almost bespoke, and something like, it's an advance made to measure, let's say. We have to find a word together, my friend.
With pleasure.
Yeah, somebody says it's very interesting, except for my livret A. Livret A it's for for the people who don't know. Livret A is the saving account of people. Traditional. I also have a livret A. We don't make much money with livret A these days, but they say, yeah. So you see, people are interested in that because it's this. I don't know. We have to work on the name together because I don't like semi-bespoke because it means like it's and
reducing. Yeah.
Well, we have to work on that too, and it's a good occasion even for people like us to clarify the process at last, you know, and putting in the plate something. And is it a secret? Can we speak roughly to give an idea of the people of the price of this new Atelier de Luca?
Definitely, the starting price is 2,500.
Yes,
that we're having, and this is with some materials that we're having already in stock. And we are having these materials from Drago.
Okay, good.
So we make a partnership actually with them since 4 years when we started this made to measure or half bespoke, or we will find the word.
Yeah, we have.
And this was the idea. And after that, you can choose from bunches, but we make selections. I have so many bunches, I'm lost. Also for the customers, but for the tailors. We receive so many batches that the customers say, I want this, but you're like, okay, I'm lost. I have 10, 120. Well, I have 10, 160s.
Yes.
Where I'm going to choose. So now we decide to select what we wanted. And this is going to be on the shop. And the shop, we wanted to not make it like a ready-to-wear shop. So we created a place where we are going to have a small table for cutting table also.
Okay, that's great. So you have the shop, you have the Atelier de Luca line. Now we have to invent the word, and you still have the bespoke, the normal traditional bespoke, all at the same place. Is that correct? And then,
yes,
if I'm right, you have a atelier a little bit like 150 meters away. Is that correct?
So to summarize it, on the reception area, we have the ground floor where we have Atelier de Luca. On the first floor, you have a private salon, private room, only for Camps de Luca.
Okay.
And we have a small atelier also on this place with four to five people.
Okay.
And we have to move the big location with the 20 people who's working with us more. And this, we create another atelier 150 meters from the location of the new shop, of the new location.
That's great. So I promised to a few readers, Julien say petite mesure. Yeah, in French we can say petite mesure, but still, for my opinion, it doesn't really say what it is. But whatever, we have to discuss this stuff. He is right, guy. Camps de Luca is Grande Mesure, Atelier de Luca is petite mesure, but for me it's a little bit more than petite mesure. Je sais pas if we can say moyenne.
You know what I'm thinking is now I'm calling haute couture, like Ciponelli haute couture, Camps de Luca haute couture.
I agree with that.
And now what we're doing with Atelier de Luca, I'm calling it mesure, because everybody's doing sur mesure.
Yes.
So the word of sur mesure is lost.
Exactly. We agree.
And now what I believe is just go to the original. What was the real? It's tape. You take measure. It's simple. Don't make it complicated.
We have a lot of people attending this talk, but we miss hearts. I like when I see hearts coming. If you like this discussion, please give us a little bit of love, because look at me. We are with my wife alone in America in the forest, and Charles is alone in his living room. So please give us some heart. If you, yeah, thank you. Only one heart. Well, you're not very generous with the heart. Anyway, everybody is just looking at their livret A and they're saying, yeah, that's better. And banking account to see if they can afford that. I promised to some people that we're going to speak a little bit in French. So people who don't understand French, please stay with us. We're just going to speak 2 minutes in French, but I want people from France, if they don't master the English language, to understand. So, on était en train d'expliquer avec Charles que chez Camps de Luca désormais, donc il y a la grande mesure, le bespoke qui reste l'identité, le cœur de la maison, et depuis peu, c'est très récent, Julien et Charles ont lancé donc alors on se bat sur les mots, la petite mesure ou peu importe, mais donc une nouvelle manière de faire qui est en fait généralement dans le monde du sur-mesure. Ce qu'on fait, c'est qu'on prend vos mesures, on envoie ça à une usine, souvent relativement loin d'ici, et ça revient, votre costume est fait, et on peut encore aller faire un peu d'altération, je ne sais pas comment on dit en français, de retouche. Voilà, excusez-moi, je parle anglais toute la journée. Bon. Alors que vous avez créé, tu peux réexpliquer en 1 minute ce que vous avez créé en français pour que nos amis français se sentent complètement intégrés. Tu réexpliques le concept de la petite mesure ou la demi-mesure ou le demi-bespoke de Atelier de Luca, en quelques mots.
La mesure Atelier de Luca, comme on l'a pensé, comme on a voulu la créer,
oui.
C'est de proposer une vraie expérience de tailleur, de lui proposer au client de faire des essayages, de comprendre comment son vêtement est fait. Donc, on va prendre ces mesures. Ensuite, nous allons passer une toile, c'est un vêtement d'une taille 48, 50, ça dépend des morphologies de chacun.
Oui.
Par la suite, avec ça, ça va nous permettre de créer un patronage. On va plus payer l'essayage.
Oui.
On va faire un premier essayage aussi bien pour la veste que le pantalon, qui va nous permettre de faire toutes les modifications qui vont être réalisables. Le client va pouvoir aussi donner son avis et va s'éduquer et va nous éduquer avec ses besoins aussi.
Génial.
Et c'est un vrai échange. Le métier qu'on fait, c'est que de l'échange. Et donc, c'est ça qui nous permet de mieux satisfaire notre clientèle.
Super.
Et par la suite, on va…
Et pour un tarif, entre guillemets, plus abordable.
Voilà, et qui débute à 2 500 €.
Voilà. So Thierry, when we come back to English, when we speak about this new offer from your atelier, it started at 2,500 euros. This is the price of, a good ready-to-wear of Italy. So you are hitting hard on this segment of market. I've been telling so many of my friends, say, why is there nobody is in this segment of price? You know, you have much lower, you know, when this industrial made-to-measure made in China or Romania or wherever, Portugal. And then you have the bespoke, which is higher, but there's room in the middle. And I am so happy that you were able to do that. I can see a lot of tailors are joining the conversation. I see Pino Peluzzo from Napoli. Hello, Pino.
Ciao.
I saw Cifonelli official was here too. Of course, it's almost a family reunion. May I say to our followers and watchers today that I said this so many times, but I'm happy that there's kind of a brotherhood now between all the tailors around the world. You remember this great dinner we had together last December in Rome? And it's so, I mean, I didn't say we are the artisan of that with Sonia, but we've been working hard to make connection between the tailors because we believe that this profession has a bright future. And more than ever, after all this crisis, I hope that people will come back to something. And there's one thing that you have to learn into bespoke tailoring or any kind of tailoring is patience. Patience is so important. But I give you a small trick. Never say to your tailor that you have time.
Yes.
Because if you say to your tailor that you have time, you will never see your jacket before 2 years. Because, we know this guy. He has time. You know, he's not in a hurry. I would like to finish this conversation. It's already 45 minutes. Can you see? You know, when it's interesting, time's flying. It's always the same thing. We would like to stay with you, but well, it's better when it's when it's shorter. Yeah, when it's reduced. Otherwise, I would like that we should have maybe started with that, but let's finish maybe with that. How would you define the Camps de Luca style? And you told us about this. Okay, Camps de Luca is famous for many things. The rope shoulder, the Parisian style, literally very structured, very how do you say that? Very I say it charismatic. You know, when you put on a Camps de Luca suit, you have charisma immediately. It's a little bit more structured than the Italian tailoring, and is something. And also you have this famous, I can't show it to you because I don't have a Camps de Luca on me, but this famous notch, we call it the fish mouth,
yes,
which is very famous, of course, for Parisian tailoring. And even many people try to say, this is my notch. Okay, well, we know all the story about that. So I want to know, describe in a few words the Camps de Luca style for the people, and also the small modification you made on the Atelier de Luca, because you told me, I didn't know that. Yeah, you changed the notch a little bit for your Atelier de Luca lapel. Just a little talk on style. How does it work?
The style of Camps de Luca remains since our grandfather. He evolved during the time, but there is some basic points.
Yes.
You have the line of the sleeve, the shoulder. Sorry.
Yes.
Is natural. We don't want to make it too high. We didn't want to make too in diagonal. On diagonal. I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
And after that, we are making the chest here. We want to create a chest really round, because what is sexy on the man, which is going volumes, is not really your breast, but is giving a shape of it, and it's helping you to design after that at the waist, the body, and to go back on the hips. So we're working really on this line, and not to be fitted at la taille. Comment on dit? Excuse-moi, je suis désolé.
The waist.
The waist. Yeah, again, sorry. The waist, because we give freedom from the front of the jacket. What we're working on is on the back. We're making the back very tight, to close to the body, and to hold it like this. When you have your jacket, you feel support, you feel safe, you feel comfortable. Yes. You can move easy. Like you explained with Lorenzo, we have the high hold, so we can move easier. And this is really the styles and the comfort that we try to create and to give to the customers.
Yes.
After that, there is some design details about the lapel, about how it's open, about the rolling shoulders, about the initials that we put on the sleeves of the customer, about the teardrop pocket that we have inside of the lining, and all the hand stitchings and all the love that we give to every jacket, because the jacket is never leaving our place without being seen by my dad, myself, or Julian. Okay. So this is really the Camps de Luca face.
Thank you. Yeah. I would. Okay. So people, if you want to go to Rue des Pyramides, it's not open for now, but it will reopen soon, I guess. Can you give us back the exact address? Is what number of Rue des Pyramides?
11 Rue des Pyramides.
Yes.
65001. I will write it after. It's on the first arrondissement of Paris.
Yes.
C'est Rue des Pyramides dans le premier arrondissement de Paris.
Yes. And so it's going to be about, we have to close this discussion. So thank you, Charles. I will really, really, really invite people, because you know that this is a difficult situation for everybody, but specifically for the tailoring. I spoke with Lorenzo last week. Well, Lorenzo was a little bit overwhelmed with all the work he has to do when they're going to reopen. But at the same time, we all need, that people who have a bespoke or a mesure project in the month or years to come, we need to support our craft. So we will be, us, Sonia and myself, we will be super active when everything's going to reopen. As you probably knew, we didn't stop really. Even if we are, I'm in my kitchen, right now in a little cottage in the forest. We meet more animals than human beings, thank God, in the forest. And we
enjoy this nice moment of nature.
Yeah. And we have a little pond where we can fish. Oh, I don't go bespoke when I do fishing, fortunately, because I don't have many suits here. But so it was for the people who know, it's 11 Rue des Pyramides in Paris. In any case, even if you don't go there to commission, you should go in there to meet Charles and Julien and the family. They need your support. I think on the side you also have some accessories, right, that you're going to sell on top, like ties, if I'm right, and stuff like that, and socks also.
Yes. So as I explained you earlier, and I will make it very short, the shop is Atelier de Luca and the brand is Atelier de Luca. We want to sell also the product. And the product, we didn't want to put on our names because we don't produce it. Okay. So what we decide is, like, we join with some brands.
Yes.
That was originally at they're producing it. So we are making the socks with Mazarin, the two young guys, French guys, that we are working with. Rouge, tout à fait. Et donc, c'est comme ça, Jacques et Vincent. Et donc, we are going to sell their socks on the shop.
Yes.
We also make a joint with 100 Hands. It's a brand who's creating some shirts.
Yes.
And we are also working with L'Aiglon, which is a French brand who is producing a very old business. And it's producing belt, elastic bed.
Yeah. And they do L'Aiglon, they do suspenders also, if I'm right.
They do suspenders, correct, yes. And we are going to propose all this. So the idea is to come to the place, to see your tailor, to discuss with him and to see other products, and to buy the product that they are produced by the real people. Yeah.
I see a comment from our friend, Fad, that I say hello to Fad. He's a good friend of Parisian Gentleman and so Toronto. He said, the problem is that we can't travel more than 100 kilometers in the next week. Well, okay, if you're a little bit far, you can still give a call, have a conversation with the Luca family, and then I'm sure that one day or another, not so far from now, everything's gonna reopen. So, thank you so much, Charles. It was a pleasure to see you.